Hello, very beautiful, beloved soul friends. Welcome to another Conversations with Kristin, that exciting time of your day where you explore human consciousness from the inside out. I am so excited about today's topic, you guys. Learning this was like game changer for me. It provides so much insight, so much self-understanding, so much deep, dynamic, profound, just insight and understanding regarding what our consciousness is going through. Okay, so play with me here. Let's explore human consciousness from a radically fresh perspective, okay? So let's start from the top. We've got parts of consciousness who create our inner experiencer. They're the parts of our consciousness who are directly encountering experience, and they comprise 95% of our consciousness, okay? 5% of our consciousness is our conscious awareness. This is our observing self. And our observing self does not directly encounter life experience. Our observing self is only the observer of experience that is being sensed and interacted with by parts of consciousness. Now, a lot of times there will be blending, and the conscious awareness will not be automatically distinguished from parts of consciousness, so it'll feel like that observational tower is the part that is going through experience. And that just takes a little bit of time and effort to unblend and create distinctive space between these aspects of ourselves, okay? But our conscious awareness is our observing self, and then 95% of our consciousness are parts of consciousness in our subconscious realms and unconscious states who directly interact with life experience. So for example, when you're hungry, okay, so maybe you're like, you're walking through your house or down the street or whatever, and you smell a delicious aroma in the air. There's just like this lovely scent, and it's like streaming through the atmosphere, and your nose picks it up, and your nose picks up this smell, and then all of a sudden you start to have some thoughts and feelings about being hungry. Okay, the process of that is the external stimulus is absorbed by your body, and then it goes through the system and activates things, and the original smell of that before it's processed into something your brain understands is sensed by unconscious parts. And then the hunger starts to come, and then there's appetite, and that's felt by parts of consciousness. And then there's these thoughts that are created like, that smells good, or is that tamales? Is that tamales I smell? I suddenly have a craving for tamales. I'm suddenly feeling a little hungry. I think I might go explore some food options. All of those sensations, from the unconscious stuff and the hunger and the appetite to the craving and the thoughts and the feelings and the sensations and the ideas, those are all experienced by parts of consciousness, okay? And then the observing self is over here and saying, I'm noticing a part of consciousness, feel a sensation of hunger. Again, there's not naturally that distinction, so we kind of got to work towards that. But this is just to understand things for starters, okay? So we've got our observing self, who's about 5% of our consciousness, and then 95% of our consciousness is our inner experiencer, or parts of consciousness, okay? They're the parts of us who directly encounter life experience. Okay, so we've got that, all right? Next step. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, the next step is understanding that when we have automated thought forms, I'm talking they're automatic, they're coming at you, they're just instinctively there, you didn't intentionally create them, kind of a thing, okay? Automated thought forms, the thought forms, which means narration or ideas, urges, impulses, sensations, images, musical melodies. All of these different kinds of things are different types of thought forms, okay? So when we have automated thought forms that are being generated, all of those messages are coming from our neurobiology, our brain and our body. So our brain and our body are generating these thought forms based on the activation of neural networks from internal and external stimulus. Our consciousness never, ever, ever produces automated thought forms. Consciousness has a capacity to intentionally create thought and to respond to thoughts, but consciousness never creates automated thought forms. Those are always from our brain and our body. And remember that our consciousness, who is our true self essence, is completely different, distinct, and separate from our neurobiology, or our brain and our body system. You can imagine it as being a person inside of a house. They live together, they interact with one another. It's a symbiotic relationship. One is inside of the other and they're constantly engaging. People open a doorknob and walk through the doorway and there's walls and they're constantly interacting with each other, but they're not the same thing. It's exactly the same with our consciousness and our neurobiology. Our consciousness is our self-essence living inside of the house of our neurobiology. Okay? They're not the same things. They interact with each other, but they're not identical. They're not synonymous. They're not the same thing. It's really important to remember, because when our brain and our body are generating messages, a lot of times it's difficult to distinguish ourself from that. A lot of times we automatically think that we are those thoughts, or those thoughts are coming from us. But when we understand that our us, the me, the I that I am, the you that you are, the miraculous you that you are, is consciousness, and consciousness is separate from neurobiology, and all automated thought forms come from neurobiology. You can understand that automated thoughts are not from us, not from our true self-essence. They're something that we are experiencing, but they are not who we are. They're not coming from us. The same way, if you live in a house and the TV is saying something, there's a distinction between the you who is watching TV and the message that is being produced by the TV. It's very similar to consciousness and neurobiology. They interact with each other, but they're not the same thing. Okay? All right, so all automated thought forms come from neurobiology. So here's the thing. Parts of consciousness can only be in one place at a time. And we have an infinite number of parts, literally an infinite number. There's literally no limitation to the parts of consciousness we have. There's an incomprehensibly large number of parts of consciousness. But each part of consciousness can only be in one place at a time. Okay? It can only be in one little piece of experience at a time. And so when we have automated thought forms, a part of consciousness is experiencing each one of those. When a part of consciousness is experiencing a thought, that means that they're experiencing projections from subconscious realm data or information in the brain's neural networks. So when our brain is creating automated thought, a part of our consciousness is experiencing that projection. What does this mean? Why is this important? Why does this matter? If a part of consciousness is experiencing a neurobiological projection of subconscious realm data, that means that it has no capacity to experience itself or to experience the present moment. Okay? This is really important to understand when we're learning about our consciousness and striving to heal ourselves and liberate ourselves, okay? Automated messages from our mind are neurobiological projections, subconscious realm data being activated within the cells of our brain. That's where automated thoughts come from. When we're having an automated thought, instinctive, unconscious, it's just naturally happening, it's automatically there, thought, part of our consciousness is experiencing that thought and is not able to experience themselves or the present moment. So every thought we have is indicating a part of our consciousness who wants to be liberated. Every internal experiential sensation is a clue of consciousness. And different clues have different meanings. That's a whole nother topic we can dive into another time. Or if you ever want to dive deeper, we can get together through a consciousness consulting call, and I can help you interpret the clues of consciousness you're experiencing and learn how to respond to them. So all of our thoughts, all of our feelings, they're all clues of consciousness. But we can start by understanding that every automated thought that's coming up means that a part of our consciousness, our self, our true essence, who we are, is experiencing that and is not able, does not have the opportunity or the capacity to experience themselves or the present moment. Our parts of consciousness want to experience themselves and the present moment more than anything in the world. They don't instinctively understand that they are not. their thoughts and feelings, because they don't have the ability for conscious observation, intentional response, or mindful exploration. Only the observing self in the conscious awareness has that ability. Only the observing self in the conscious awareness has the ability to mindfully observe, intentionally respond, and consciously choose. Okay? Mindful choices, intentional observation, conscious responses, those are unique abilities of the conscious awareness, our observing self. Our inner experiencer does not have that ability. Our parts of consciousness are not capable of those things. Only with the help of the conscious awareness can they be liberated from these thought forms. They can't do that by themselves. They can't do that by themselves. They don't have the ability. Neurobiologically, the way that our consciousness is set up, they don't have that ability. So our conscious awareness, our observing self, needs to be able to respond and be there for our parts of consciousness so that they can be liberated from neurobiological activations of projected data from subconscious realms and have a renewed capacity to experience themselves and the present moment. Because that's what they want. Our parts of consciousness are craving to be unleashed into the fullness of all that they are. They just can't do it by themselves. They just don't have that option available to them. That's just the way things are. But they're worthy of being liberated. Our parts of consciousness are worthy of being liberated from neurobiological projections of data so that they can be who they truly are and fully experience the present moment. That's what they want more than anything in the world. And trust me, it feels so good when we can get there. It feels better than you can possibly begin to imagine. Truly, it feels better than you can possibly begin to imagine. So 95% of our consciousness is filled with parts who are experiencing life, but they do not have instinctive innate abilities to distinguish between things. Only through our conscious awareness, our observing self, can there be this intentional choice to redirect thoughts. And when we redirect our thoughts, we rewire our brain so that it eventually creates different kinds of thoughts. That's pretty cool, huh? You have the power to reconstruct the mansion of your mind so that it eventually creates completely different styles of life experience from the inside out. You have that ability. You have that ability. Yes, 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 yes. You have that ability. Like, celebrate the fact that that's even an option for you. Bravo, bravo. Round of applause, round of applause. You are incredible. You have so much power. It's spectacular. It's spectacular. It's utterly spectacular. You have so much power. You have that option available to you right here, right now. That's exciting. That's exciting. It's great news. It's great news. All right. So, clues of consciousness. Any type of internal experiential sensation. Different clues have different meanings, but that's kind of a deeper dive. So we're just going to stay where we are. But we can start by understanding that every single automated sensation, urges, impulses, ideas, conversation starters, perceptions about other people, judgments, conclusions, sensations, feelings, emotions, images, all of those things that are automatically generated are coming from our brain and our body. Neurobiological activations of subconscious data, which is completely separate from our consciousness, who is our self-essence, who is who we truly are. And every single time there's an automated thought form, a part of our consciousness is experiencing that and is not able to experience themselves or the present moment, because parts of consciousness can only be in one place at a time. One piece of experience at a time. So every single automated thought is an indicator that parts of our consciousness are not free to be themselves, free to be present in the moment. Every automated thought form means that a part of ourselves, who we really are, our self-essence, our consciousness, our beloved sacred self-essence, the essence you can see through your eyes, the essence you can feel through your energy, the essence who loves to express and create and be free and be loved and be loved. That a part of our consciousness, our true self, a part of our identity, worth, and potential that is separate from our brain and our body, where all the fear-based projections come from. Every automated thought form means that a part of our beloved self is not free to be themselves or experience what's actually happening right here, right now, in the present moment. Because every automated thought form is a projection of data from past experiences that is very, very subjective, and it has lots of potential for error. There's like a million different reasons why experiences do not process the objective truth. And that's just the way that neurobiology works. And it's all to protect us. It's all wanting to help us survive. But it's subject to error. There's a lot of room for potential inaccuracies in that data. And either way, it's past data. It's information from moments that are done and gone and don't ever define us. Okay? So, our consciousness is this big whole thing, right? 95% of it is parts of consciousness. 5% of it is our observational self. Parts do not have the ability for mindful observation or conscious response or intentional choice. Only our observing self has those abilities. Parts of our consciousness want to be free to be themselves and be present in the moment. But they can't do that because every single automated thought means part of our consciousness is there instead of over here. And only through the personal power of our conscious awareness can we extend help towards our parts of consciousness. And the more free parts are, the more liberated we are, the more healed we are. Anxiety, depression, insomnia, traumatic stress, self-doubt, self-criticism, worry, fear, all of it starts to go away as we liberate our consciousness and rewire our neurobiology to transform life experience from the inside out. You have that power. Every moment is an opportunity. And I believe in you infinitely. I believe in you infinitely, soul friends. And if you ever want to dive deeper into any of these healing journey topics, especially to apply it to your own personal healing journey, so you can understand your consciousness and have tools to embrace your power and liberate yourself and rewire your neurobiology so that your life experience can transform from the inside out in powerful, profound, deeply dynamic ways, please let me know. I would love to connect with you through a consciousness consulting call. You can explore my website below for more information or email me anytime at artistryofexistence@gmail.com. I also offer self-guided healing journey programs, so if you're looking for just a resource to use on your own time at home, please explore that. There's several different options, so you can kind of see which one is a good fit for you. And I even have a cooking class coming soon, Delicious Magic Play Shop. It's really fun, so stay tuned for more information about that. And if you enjoyed this video, if you liked hanging out, if you learned something from it, anything, please feel free to click the like button and the subscribe button. I really appreciate your support on my channel. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, soul friends. I am sending you lots of love and light. Namaste. From my consciousness to yours, I wish you well. Blessings, soul friends, and thanks for being here as you.